Hi, this is my first vlog for my global learning project this semester. I'm actually doing it on my friend's roommate who is actually studying she's kind of lived in a few different places within Europe, primarily the Netherlands, Germany, and France, doing all of her high school years in France. Sorry if I looked down at my phone in advance. I took all my notes and kept them in my note section on my phone. She actually lived in a small city outside of France. I'll put it right here. I don't know how to pronounce this. But she actually lived there for a majority of when she did live in France. She kind of bounced around. So to compare my experience in high school versus hers, to put mine into perspective, I went to a very conservative Catholic school for 13 years. So my American version of high school was already skewed from the typical American version. So there were already a lot of differences between our curriculums and kind of experiences in general in regards to our high school, like schooling experience. One of the craziest things that I kind of learned is that in France, what they do is this kind of accelerated learning, starting your junior year so what you do is you kind of specialize in what area of study you want to go into in your college years. So for example, if you wanted to be an accountant, you would start taking accounting classes in your junior year of high school to kind of build a foundation in which your college studies can build from. I thought that was weird because when I was in high school, I switched my major or what I wanted to go into multiple times before I even started applying to colleges. So that would be kind of stressful if I were in her situation. Education in France is much harder and much more rigorous than in the US, and you can statistically look at it and see that it is more difficult. And so she would kind of spend a little more time studying there than she does here at Michigan State, but for the most part, she just thinks it's more intense over there. Another thing that I thought was very interesting is she didn't get her driving license, until she was 18, which I thought was interesting because here we kind of look forward to our 16th birthdays and like hope that our parents buy us a car. But over there, they kind of rely more on public transportation and that kind of realm. When it came to like her everyday life and how she like handles situations, over there, she would say, like, in comparison to the US, she lived like a normal teenage girl life, trying to figure out what she wanted to do with the rest of her life and what clique she wanted to fit into more so, playing sports, kind of that thing. Over there, you can kind of drink casually at kind of any age almost, just because it's the norm. It's not frowned upon like it is here in the US to kind of drink when you're younger. A thing that I thought was really interesting is that they would kind of smoke cigarettes after school every once in a while, which here in the US we almost think it's like bad etiquette to ever smoke. We think it's bad to hurt your lungs like that. And over there, it's just so common that no one even blinks. Another thing that I thought was very interesting was at lunchtime, they would come home from school and eat their lunches there, in comparison to my high school, where at lunchtime we had security guards sit in our parking lot to make sure that we weren't leaving to go anywhere. But they would go home and eat with their parents or their grandparents, whoever was around, really. I thought that was very interesting just because they do pride themselves on their families and spending family time together. But for the most part, everything was kind of similar in regards to how she was brought up. Like, she enjoyed her friends. She spent a lot of time with her family at the same time. She played sports. She hung out with her friends. They went to sporting events at their high school. And it didn't give me a totally different perspective in regards to education or their high school lifestyle, but at the same time, it kind of gave me some insights into how they start their education for college earlier than we do, which in a way I think is more beneficial on their part, just because I know going into college, I didn't know half the things I probably should have known. And it kind of just put the U.S. education system in a negative light.